I know I say this every hay cutting, but this is Michigan. The weather can change at the blink of an eye. I know a lot of places, you know, pretty much you're clear for weeks. Michigan, that's not the case. Now they're calling for thunderstorms today, tonight even. I need one more day to dry my hay. So this is my middle field. It is a lot dry. Is it going to fully dry today? I don't really know. I really don't. This is my middle field, my main 10-acre field. It is mostly dry. Will it be fully dry by 5 o'clock today? It could be. I do already have the hay pretty much pre-sold. All my customers want my hay. They want low sugar hay. If it gets rained on, it's definitely gonna be low sugar. I was gonna come in here and rake it, but I honestly don't think I need to because it looks like it's drying both sides. And that's because of no dew. This looks pretty good, but the clover right here is what we really wanna check. And this is not dry at all. So as I'm testing the moisture, I'm gonna be checking the clover 100%. This should pretty much crumble if it's ready to be baled. If I bale this and that clover is not dry, it will ruin all of my hay. You can see how thin the fields are.
I know, it's driving you nuts, isn't it? The constant back and forth of the camera. I am so sorry. I really thought my GoPro would probably be able to handle that, but I think I need to get a different mount. So my apologies on being seasick. I was in a major rush trying to get this done, and I have to get this hay raked, baled, and off the field before the storms hit. Now I know I'm not gonna get all of it off the field, but ideally I'd like to get at least most of it off the field. Now, as you can tell, the hay right here is very thin. I'm hoping that we're gonna get more than what we did last year off our first cut. Last year, we got approximately 300 bales off everything. It was a really terrible year, terrible. This year, the grass is extra stemmy. It's almost 2 to 3 weeks ahead of where it should be. Normally, we have nice, lush, soft first cutting hay. This year, that is not the case. So, you know, we're gonna end up having to sell it for less than what I had planned on. But, you know, maybe we can make up for it with second and third cutting. Normally, you can see these rows are extra thin. I would go through and try to re-angle the arms of the hay rake to be able to either collect more hay or go through and be able to combine 2 rows together. Again, unfortunately, I just don't have the time. As much as I would love to have a nice, big, fluffy windrow for my baler to just shoot out bales, that is not going to be the case this year, but we'll give it the best shot that we can to get it off before the rain hits.
Holy freaking crap. That is a heavy bale. Shoot. 12.8. 12.3. So that's about what I was clocking that one down there. Sorry. I apologize about my stomping feet. Low battery, 14.5. 13.7. So far, they're all right where I want them to be as far as moisture goes.
Yep, see, this is why I don't use my phone in the tractor, because I end up missing my rows really bad. I just totally biffed the whole line over there. Wow.
Alright, so we are rolling, I think, I hope. So far it seems to be okay. The weight seems to be decent. Eric might disagree with me, but I think it feels okay. I think the tension feels okay. So, yeah, I think we're okay. Hopefully. Coming up on my line of despair over there, and a whole half a pass around the field. It's gonna have to be redone, but so far she looks like she's doing a good job, so I am thrilled, just thrilled. Might have to jump out again and double check the bales, especially since this area is a lot denser. Oh man, no! I just showed you the cloud line and it was just haze, and now we've got like actual thick billowing clouds. It doesn't look like storm clouds. It looks like it might be light rain clouds, which wouldn't be the end of the world, but oh, look at this guy just hanging out right here. We'll leave him alone. Got some tall grass over here still. It's okay. Okay, so that is feeling pretty good. Might be just a little bit loose on the tension, and I think, like I said before, I think I have to have this on to adjust to this. I got a little dial right here, and pretty much I don't think it'll adjust anything unless it's actually running. Alright, I don't know how much we're gonna get done, seriously, because even if I can bale 600, Eric still has to be able to collect them onto the trailer with the grapple and then ungrapple them in the barn, which takes forever because our barn wasn't built for a grapple system. So we don't have a straight in out door. It takes a while. And it would take even longer to hand stack. So.
Well, it wasn't all roses and puppies and kittens. We had excessively long bales going on for quite a while. It's driving me nuts trying to figure out why it was happening. I know how to fix it. It has to do with the knotter clutch system, which is very easy to pop back into place, and I show you in this video kind of how to do it. That little lever right there affects this. If you haven't seen the video, you can go back and watch it on the channel, but ultimately this is triggered when you have too much pressure on your strings. So when it goes to tie a knot, there's too much pressure there, and it triggers the system to prevent your knotters from becoming damaged. Ultimately, what the problem was with this system here was that because it had sat out all winter, the spring that adjusts the tension on the twine box back there in the far back, it had become a little bit too rusty and was applying too much pressure onto these orange twines. So by backing off the pressure a little bit, that ultimately solved the problem and no more long bales. But that was pretty much one of the problems we had. There was another.
Alright, well, I knew we were rolling along too easy. I knew we were due for a problem. We're still at 158. Eric wants me to stop at 240 because that's approximately how many he can fit on his wagon. So, just as I suspected, that has come out of that. And it does it, it's been doing it. It started doing it last year. And it's pretty much after we started messing with that wheel. That's pretty much the cause of it. I don't know if it makes a huge difference if it's in there or not. I mean, it's gonna float on its own anyway. Actually, tonight at dinner, maybe I can see if the manual has a part for that, and then see if I can find it on eBay or something.
All right, hey, we got the GoPro going, and that's because I had to walk all the way back home to get some parts for the baler. So ever since last year when we decided to mess with this stupid wheel down here, it has been a disaster, just a disaster. And that's why it fell out of that thing down there, is because the wheel, I don't know. It's just a big nightmare. So I have to somehow be able to unstick this and somehow hope that it's not going to keep locking up. And hope that I have enough strength to be able to do this. You know, the irony is I actually have an electric socket driver that is for stuff like this, and I did not even think to bring it. Alright, so I went back and got the socket driver. Hopefully I got the right size. Perfect. Here we go. All right. Now, I've had so many of you guys ask me why we don't try using bale carts or bale wagons. And the answer is that's actually how we started. We used to just bale straight onto the field and drive by picking them up and throwing them on the back of a wagon. But unfortunately, our kids began to grow older and they didn't want to be around for hay season. So it was just the two of us stacking hay, and it doesn't stack very quickly when there's only two of you. Pretty much one person driving, one person stacking. And there were a couple of times where it was just getting too dicey. We were going to end up with wet bales on the field. So then we switched into bale carts, and each bale cart holds about 100 bales of hay. We still have them, although we're probably looking to sell them if you're interested. And those worked pretty good. You could get the hay off the field pretty quick, but the problem we ran into there was that you'd fill up the bale cart, you'd have to take it to the barn, and then you'd have to instantly dump it. You can see this system is not perfect at all. I'm not a big fan of the Maxilator. Eric definitely does a better job than I do, but even he struggles sometimes with it. The bale carts were only a big issue if we had bales that didn't tie properly and went up the chute basically with no strings. Then you'd have a whole pile of loose hay, and then when you went to dump it at the barn, you'd have a whole pile of loose hay on all of your gravel, and then you'd have to still stack all of the hay there. So no matter which way you looked at it, you had to have help on hand to be able to stack the hay. And now in our area, that's impossible to come by. Yeah, I mean, fast food restaurants can't even keep people hired long enough, nor get them to do their job. So, if you're planning for a full day of baling hay with 2 workers that you plan to hire and they don't show up, what do? So we decided that we weren't going to depend on outside help because we had too much of an issue with outside help not coming. So we switched to a grapple accumulator system. And it does take a little bit longer than possibly hand stacking. And at the end of the day, it is what it is. We can always upgrade our system, but at least this way we can stack a little bit faster in the barn. as time begins to slip away and we can feel the dew start to come up out of the ground, we know we have to get this load of hay in the barn. Oh man, the rains did hit. I prayed that they would avoid us and then we could just go back to baling. If the hay gets rained on, this is what happens. We have to go through and let the ground dry first, head it out so that all the wetness underneath can get thrown up into the sun. Then after that's dry, we have to go through and rake it. The problem comes that if we end up with extra dew, we might have to rake it a few times because the dew will continue to act like more rain and make the grass wet again. So it's a battle between raking and dew every single time. Each day the hay has to sit on the field in the sun. It turns browner and browner and it becomes stemmier and stemmier. And that becomes a problem for some of our customers with picky horses. So fingers crossed that we can get it off the field quickly. But you'll have to stay tuned for the next video where you can find out exactly how it went and how many total bales we ended up with this year. And to all of my Christmas tree viewers, stay patient. We have more Christmas tree videos on the way. We're gonna move through a couple more hay videos and then it'll be diving hard into our Christmas trees. It is crazy, all the changes going on with these trees just sitting there. We've got a lot of exciting projects going on and we still have to plan for our next upcoming years. Is this actually gonna be a profitable endeavor or are we gonna be in over our heads? Make sure you are subscribed so that you can stay tuned and find out. Thanks so much, guys. Love seeing you guys tune in and all of your comments down below. You guys have been a massive help to me with all of your ideas and tips and tricks. So many, it's like having 100 different grandpas coming in telling you how to do something. Some of them are right, some of them are wrong, but at the end of the day, you have a lot of information that you can sort through and apply. And so for that, I thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. And until next time, take care. Love you. Bye.